Hey, don't try to bring me into nothing right now. I don't even know if I'm on always allow or do not allow.
Alright.
And I'm qualifying with them, so.
Alright.
We are live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the Giggity Racing League. Tonight we are coming at you. We have Xfinity tonight, and we're back at Darlington and Martinsville. Points playoff championship's going to happen tonight. After both races are over, the points will be accumulated. Two of these drivers are going to get, how do they say it in that one movie? Das Boot. Tonight I got Wicked, I got Pro with us. We got some great racers. A lot of these guys weren't too excited about these tracks a couple days ago. They've got some practice in. They're on sliders, not necessarily their customs right now. Wicked, you want to bring us in with some points?
Yeah, that's because on the round of 10, we got Jake Giru, I think that's how you say it, leading off the points with 44 playoff points. Bad for you, second line with only 12 playoff points. So Jake's got himself a nice little pad in there. He could probably almost miss a race or two and still be all right. But third place, we got No Pit Pendle. Fourth place, Robbie Vids. Fifth place, Jackson Strong. Sixth place, Trey. Seventh, Card Fan. 8, Edlo Giggity. 9, Woodruff Sport. And rounding out the playoff top 10 is MP Roofer.
A lot of fast guys up there. And right here, guys, I'm looking at it too. You look on the outside in. We got some fast guys with Golf Bulk, Habab, and everybody. They're right there on the line too. So everything's definitely going to, every point will matter. We've been saying that for the last couple of weeks as we've been progressing through these series. But Darlington and Martinsville, especially for these guys, is not a couple tracks where I would really want to gain points on, but you have to do it. Two difficult tracks to pass on, two different types of tracks to drive on. Pro?
Yeah, I mean, you got to really think about it. Darlington and Martinsville. Martinsville's a short track. It's just like Bristol. It's basically a braking track. If you can get your if you can pick the right slider, you can have the right pit setup with it. Then you can easily not have to worry about braking in the corners. You could just let off the gas and coast around the corner. You don't have to worry about touching your brake at all. Darlington, on the other hand, there's that dotted line that's at the bottom of the track, and once you go below that dotted line, there's either two ways your car is going to handle. One, it's going to handle perfect, or either two, you're going to spin. And I think that's what we're going to see on that track. Martinsville, with it being such a short track and so combined into such a short track, it's going to be rough to see how they come on and off pit road on that track. Just like Darlington. Darlington's the hard track to get onto the pit road because you have to really slow down really quick for that, because I believe if I'm wrong, correct me. I think it's 35 miles an hour on pit road on Darlington, ain't it?
Pit strategy and pit entry will be a big issue here. You are right. We saw this during the custom race. We actually saw more of those caution flags at Darlington than we did Martinsville. Those guys were definitely trying for every point they could then, and like I said, they've got a lot of practice in. Hopefully we're not going to see quite as many this time, but racing will definitely be tough. I don't see anybody obviously intentionally wrecking each other, but if that bumper comes down to it in this last, that last stage, they might put the bumper to somebody to get that point so they can keep up there. Like you said, Jake, bad for you. No Pit, Robbie, their top four. Jackson, Trey, Cardspan, Woodruff, at the Roofer. They've all got a lot to lose on this race. That's seeing us that two get booted after the both races when the points are tallied up. So we're going to have an interesting night of racing. It's always exciting here in Giggity Racing. Thank you guys for joining us. Everybody out there in YouTube land, as soon as we get the live feed up, we'll be more than happy to have you guys join in. It's always great to talk with you guys. We might be able to possibly have a couple guest commentators here a little bit later, being with K Teddy and Arch. We're going to see how that works out for them. But
I'm
tonight
here
we got
now.
Wick. Yeah, Taddy's right here with us now. So we got Taddy, Pro Ripper, Wicked, and Puddin' up in the booth. You guys are going to have a great race tonight, guys. I'm
Hey guys,
excited.
real quick, qualifying is over. 30 seconds remain on the clock. don't accept those invites, I will be telling you when to accept them. And I already got an invite back into it, so I'm good to go.
So again, I just want to say one more thing. Pit strategy is going to be a big factor. It depends on if they get a penalty, because if they get a penalty, that's going to hurt them. Because if one of the playoff guys get a penalty, that's going to hurt them bad, because they're gonna want to try to keep that playoff spot.
Hey, hold on. He's going blue screen, so they're not going to hear you. You guys can accept
They can. I thought they could.
No, when they go blue screen, the only person that can be heard is the person broadcasting.
Oh, I don't blue screen going through my PC.
Oh, I got you. Okay, well that's nifty.
We can still join.
Yeah, you're good to join now. I've already backed out, and I'm getting back in now.
Here we go, guys. We're getting ready to see the Xfinity first playoff race with Giggity Racing tonight. Going to be really exciting. A lot of hard racing. A lot of these guys, like I said, got a lot of practice in. They prefer the sliders through to customs, which you don't hear that very often. But at certain, like these couple tracks, these guys are excited, man. There's going to be a lot of good racing, a lot of close racing with these guys.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys happen to notice or not, but the guy sitting on the pole is our points leader, Jake Giroux. So, like Wicked was saying, he's the guy that maybe has the biggest advantage going into this. He's got a 33-point lead, maybe missing a few bit. He'd probably be all right. But with him out at the lead, everybody's fighting hard for second. And remember, come the final race of the season, 3 drivers fight it out, and the points go out the window. It's whoever finishes the best. So they're just setting themselves up for a good finish for the final night.
That's great to see Jake back too, Teddy, because the last race he was definitely under the weather. I know you weren't feeling too good either, so I'm glad to hear you starting to feel a little bit better too. So glad to see Jake and everybody back. As we see, here we go, guys. We are green flag. Cars are already getting loose. They are already, the 2 cars spun around, coming out of appears to be 3 and 4, almost going down the pit lane. Jake is the leader.
Hey, real quick, while we're getting on the 6 drivers, something happened to one of our drivers here at the Giggity Racing League here recently. I know this is the beginning of the race, and we want to catch this, and I want to get to it. And I'm going to mention this a few times throughout the race. One of our own, Adam Troutman, you see him as Trout on the track. He was in a horrific car accident over the holidays, December 27th is when the accident happened. He lost one of his legs. It was amputated. He's got specialists coming in and trying to fix. Yeah, he's got specialists coming in trying to fix his other leg, ruptured his bladder, broken arm. Prayers and best wishes to you, buddy. Second to that, to any of our viewers, even if you can't donate, maybe you can just share the word. Check out Giggity Racing League on Facebook. Share the link. Let's help this man out. The family needs a lot of help with the expenses. They're looking at upwards of $50,000 in medical expenses. Let's help him and his family out. He is one of our own.
I know that you said earlier, we got a lot of questions earlier about where A-Trout was, and that is not what you want to hear why somebody was missing races. A-Trout, our thoughts and prayers go out to you, good sir, man. That is very tragic. It's never good to hear stuff like that, especially happening around holiday seasons, even worse. A-Trout, thoughts and prayers for Mr. and Mrs. Puddin and everybody out there in Giggity Land.
On that, let's get back to the racing. Like I said, we'll be bringing this up a few times between both this race and the next race. Just make sure everybody hears it and knows what's going on.
Thanks for that update, and again, very tragic way to hear that. But anyway, I'm sitting here and watching Jake. Jake's out front, but No Pit Pendle says, "Hey, you weren't here. I got some practice in at these tracks." He's right there on Jake's bumper, guys. Remember, these are slider stays, so everybody's still on a different slider, but their car may not wear out as much as what they did on the custom setup. So we've gone 4 or 5 laps now, green flag. This is awesome racing already.
Yeah, guys, going into this, not just the playoff drivers, so to say, but who we're looking at as being our strong contenders for this win. Of course, outside of, your Jakes, and looks like the Pendles up here.
Like I said, I got Habab, Bulk, and Gulf looking on the outside in. And I got one more name written down, and unfortunately, I can't read my own chicken scratch right now, and I apologize for that. But we got 4 guys that are right there on that bubble.
Trey Spun. Another quick little information here. We have some of these drivers out on the field. You got Jake, you got No Pit Pendle, you got Bad For You up here fighting hard for this lead. Jake pulls over, Pendle gets around him. Bad For You to the outside, goes around the 10 car. Jake from the lead to third. Is he conserving tires? Fuel? Who knows? Only time will tell. Back to what I was saying, we have some of these drivers out here. Edzo, Robbie Vids, these guys, MP Roofer, although they are racing right now, Edtho and Robbie Bids next season will be their own team captain. Same with Trey. These guys, even though they're racing, they're trying to make a great showing for their last couple weeks as a member of their respective teams. Trey, Edtho, Roofer, they are all Canucks currently. Next season, they're all going elsewhere. Robbie Bids, member of NOCO, again, got his own team next season. So these guys trying to make a good playoff showing for their last season with their teams.
Robbie had a good showing last night in the development race. He said before the race, he said, I just want to strictly be in there so I can help scout some talent. Robbie did pull off the win. Did see some names out there he wanted to possibly talk to here in the future, so that's a great point, Patty. A name that we're not seeing tonight is my fellow Keystone Cowboy, Boomhauer. He had other obligations tonight, said he wanted to catch a game, knowing that he wasn't in the playoffs, but unfortunately we don't see Boomhauer out there. But Bad for You Racing, well, following along with him, he's right behind No Pit too. Jake right behind him.
I was gonna say not to take away from it, but No Pit Pendle is our leader.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know if how many of you guys checked out Thursday's race, but Thursday when they ran at the custom setups, No Pit Pendle said this is one of his best tracks, although not necessarily with the custom, but one of his absolute best tracks. And not only did he prove that, and is he proving it now, but he swept and won the race at Darlington. Both stages and the race winner on Thursday was your leader right now, No Pit Pendle.
He gained a lot of points on Jake. Again, Jake being under the weather that time for that weekend.
Two cars have heavy damage on the front of their car. Woodruff Sport and Fat Patches has heavy damage on the front of their car. I believe that this is a caution that came out for them getting into a wreck, I believe.
It's unfortunate for Fat Patch and Woodruff. Great contenders here. Woodruff's always a fast person to be contended with. Fat Patch, a good friend of mine. He's racing with DSR. Might be making a change for next year. Really excited about coming into tonight. I talked to him a little bit earlier.
Hey, real quick.
Practice in, and he was looking good too. So unfortunate for them. Go ahead, Taddy.
He is racing DSR. He is one of the few people that was allowed to race prior to the playoff section here starting. Again, we were talking about it. Although Edtho is his team captain right now, Edtho and Fat Patch are not on the same team. Another quick aspect of what just happened, Woodruff, Fat Patch. One's in the playoffs, one is not. You hate to see that happen, but those guys not in the playoffs, they have all the same rights on this track as the guys that are in the playoffs. Everybody's trying to get that victory.
Just what we saw the other night too, like you were saying at the I went back and watched the truck race broadcast after I did participate. There was a lot of non-playoff point contenders who took those points away and stage points away from some of the playoff people early. That could hurt these guys in later runs. Every point counts tonight, Taddy. These guys are going to definitely be hard. Looks like right here we got Jake sticking a nose on the inside of Woodruff. We're going into one right here. They back off, they maintain, they know how tight this track is. It's very difficult to pass. Jake knows his way around here, so does Woodruff. We got the 99 right behind him. Great tight racing. Four races up here, 4 cars, excuse me.
Quick correction on what Puddin was just saying. Thursday, there were points taken away from drivers, but there's no playoff on our Thursday Custom Cup.
I apologize for that, yeah.
Just a quick update on that.
Yeah, I was talking about the truck race, though. Monday night, though, there was a couple people who finished in it. Yeah, a couple drivers that weren't in the playoffs finishing in the top 10 who did take away for that, as we see a car spinning around going through the corner.
That's Woodruff again, and Fat looks like Little Man maybe, but it looked like Fat Patch and Woodruff were the first two to make contact there. Speaking of the Little Man car, Wicked, if I could get you to maybe show that number 3 black and blue custom car. Real quickly, Little Man is a EMT ambulance driver himself, and so tonight and Thursday we ran a special paint scheme. This is his EMS supporting all of those in the safety field for those, firemen, EMTs, police officers. This is a special little paint scheme he put together for that. So just wanted to make sure that was on the broadcast, and big shout out to you, Little Man, and thank you for everything you do with our first responders.
Sure.
That's much respect. That's really cool that he did something like that, as we see Jake taking the pass, making the pass on Woodruff. But that's very awesome that everybody in their own little group is a tight-knit clan. My wife being a nurse, nurses stick together, EMTs, firefighters especially, and we are under a little bit of a warning right now through terrorist threats. So everybody out there, thank you for what you do as first responders, knowing that what's going on out there. But Jake took the lead back away from Woodruff, guys.
Yeah, staying in the same category real quick before we move on. Wicked, if I could get you to go to the 21 car. Same category as Little Man was saying. We talked about this on Thursday. Bob is racing with us right now. He's a strong member at Giggity Racing. He just missed the playoffs here. At the end of the season, he will not be returning next season to race with us. He will be back hopefully in June, July, but Habab has joined the military. He will be gone for a few months doing some military stuff. He's an Army member, so on that fact, Habab, shout out and respect for you as well, same as we were talking about there with Little Man.
So we know, everybody knows, Jake is our leader again.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I did, the other night, had the privilege to share the booth with Taddy for the first time. Again, I'm as an Air Force veteran and family too, so I'd like to personally thank Bob for what he's going to do, especially with everything going on. So we have so many people in Giggity Racing that are around the world. This is a worldwide league, guys. Australia, Brasilia, England, Canada, America, and everybody has specific jobs that help keep this world going. And thank you to everybody out there who does that. It's Jake's starting to pull away, but a good 7 or 8 cars.
Yeah, actually, as I've been watching this lead, Jake's doing a great job holding off and holding up to the front, unlike he did prior to the caution. Looks like he pulled off and was saving some tires maybe for a pit stop strategy. But the car that I'm looking to watch that doesn't have a whole lot of victories here in the Giggity Racing League, but always a top contender, that 5 of Bad For You is looking real strong this season. In front of Pendle, holding him off, and as mentioned before, this is one of if not Pendle's absolute best tracks. So great job of that 5 Chevrolet of Bad For You.
Sure. As I believe they are on the last lap of the first stage right now.
Very quick into this stage, guys. This is how quick these races are going to go tonight. This proves that do you want to have a little bit of patience? But if you're in the top 10 in points, again, Jake, Bad For You, No Pit, Robbie, Jackson, Trey, Cards, Edda, Woodruff, Roofer, they all need any points that they can possibly get. Jake's got 44, Bad For You 12, No Pit with 9, Robbie with 3, and Jackson right now with 1 playoff point. So every point's going to count. I think that was the end of the stage, guys. Let's see how it ended up.
Top 5,
Yeah.
Jake, Bad For You, No Pit Pendle, Eddo, and Habab rounding out the top 5. 6, we got Jackson Strong, Matt BW, Trey, MP Roofer, and Fat Patch rounding out the top 10.
I'd like to give a big shout out to Michael Williams out there. We all know him as Money Mike. I call him the Hitchhiker. He says this is Money Mike, this go for no-go boys, but that's a cool hashtag that he just came up for. It says do it for Trout. So thanks, Money Mike. We really appreciate it, man. They're going to rack them. They're going to stack them. They're going to put 4 brand new balonies on. Get that belly full of fuel. Make the adjustments that they feel they need to make. And guys, we're going to go back into the second stage here in just about 4 or 5 seconds. It's going to be interesting. As they take the green flag, Woodruff on the inside, Jake on the outside. This is one of these tracks, man. Taddy, I don't know where you want to be. Same thing, Wick and Pro. I don't know where you want to be. Personally, I would want to be on the high side. Jake makes it work. Let's Woodruff go. Ducks right down behind. No Pit Pendle right behind them. So we got right there Woodruff, Jake, and No Pit Pendle. Jake's going to stick his nose back underneath there, thinks better of it, pulls back, holds in through the line. A little bit of contact, a lot of contact. The 4th place car goes for a spin. As we see No Pit Pendle. Yeah, we just see No Pit Pendle hit that apron and spin around. This was an opportunity for Jake and Woodruff to pull off. If there's no caution, this is not what the guys behind him wanted to see. We need to see a caution, or at least they want to see a caution. But Woodruff pulled right back around Jake. Sorry, guys, go ahead.
So, real quick, a quick update. That accident, man, we're really hoping for caution, especially Edto, again, one of those playoff drivers. After that first stage, I have updated the points. The 2 cars on the outside looking in right now have to receive, the only 2 guys to receive no stage points. Robbie didn't either, but he had the 3 playoff points for a cushion. Cardsman and Woodruff with no points so far. They're the 2 on the outside looking in, trying to make it in. As we've seen, Woodruff with that incident earlier might have cost them those playoff points. And with that said, now Edtho having an incident, he's really hoping for that caution to get back into the picture.
Guys, one more time, as we see Jake pulling right back up here on Woodfoot, I am not on social media right now, but I know a lot of you guys are out there. I do like what Money Mike just said. Let's get that hashtag going out there in the Giggity community world. Let's try to help A-Trout out. Do it for A-Trout. That is awesome. Let's see if we can get that going. We see Jake to the high side. Woodruff holds them off. These two are starting to pull away. No caution after that last incident. This gave these guys almost a 3/4 straightaway lead. Jake's got his work cut out because Woodruff is one heck of a driver, but at the same time, Jake's no slouch himself. So we're seeing these guys up here contend for all the points and the win here tonight with these two great drivers. Jake takes a look to the inside.
On that note, I actually just tweeted for our buddy Adam Troutman. I hashtagged it and everything on the tweet, so if anybody has me, go ahead and follow me. If not, it's at KTaddy4. Let's get that hashtag going there. A-Trout, hashtag A-Trout.
I like that. That Money Mike, like I said, he put that out there. I'm not on the social medias right now, but my wife is. I call it Twatter, but we will get Twitter out there. I will definitely have my wife, especially the medical community as a nurse, help get that around. She's got a lot of friends. Let's see if we can help one of our good buddies out in a super, super unfortunate accident. These guys are still looking hard. These guys are still looking strong. Not to take away from Trout. Your thoughts and prayers are still with us, but man, Trout, if you're out there watching, you know how intense it can be. We miss seeing you out here. You're part of this contingency all the time as we see Jake making a piece of nose to the inside. Thinks better of it again. Pulls back in. No, not a big draft effect here, but at the same time, probably playing it smart, not pushing the issue. Woodruff is going to end up probably making a mistake. Because just like when you see Noco in your rear window, you don't want to see
Woodruff.
Jake back there.
That's not Woodruff.
Not Woodruff.
Real quick, that's bad for you. Our number 5, our number 2 in the points entering this race. Entering these playoffs.
Oh, bad for you. I keep calling it Woodruff. I apologize.
It's that all-black car, even though it looks a lot like Woodruff, but bad for you's got that number 5 on there instead of the 93. And, you know, this is great seeing this in the first race of the first round of the playoffs. 4 weeks we have of this. And the 2 cars we see battling it out side by side for the victory, even though only stage 2, are the 2 guys, number 1 and number 2 in the points. This is really fun to watch.
Guys, I apologize for that miscue. As you know, I do broadcast a lot of the cup races. I'm starting to do a little bit more of the Xfinity, start to learn the names, the numbers, and the color scheme, so I do apologize. Thank you for the correction there to K-Tad. As we see Jake to the outside, out bad for you. They're going straight. Yeah, he's still got a nose. Bad for you, still got the nose going down the front straightaway. Going into 1, backs off, wants his line. He doesn't want to make a mistake. He does not want to hit that apron. Jake still got the lead. That would have been a bad mistake for Bad for You if he would have hit that. So smart move. He knows what his position is, Teddy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these guys, they're not 1 and 2 in the points for no reason. You know, they know what they're doing out there. They give the respect. They give and take, and they know when to go. Right now, they got plenty of room. Let's have fun. Let's battle it out. You know, if I'm in Bad for You's shoes or Jake's, you know, I'm doing the same thing. A little bit of side-by-side racing, see what we got. You know, it looks like they got a full straightaway lead upon 3rd place. So, man, I can tell you from a driver's perspective here that these 2 are having a blast right now.
I know that there was an unfortunate circumstance to put some of these guys back there in the back, being part of DSR for a short period of time with Edtho and Roofer, though. I know what their strategy is, and I know he's going to kill me for saying this, but I got to say it once. Our Australian buddy, Robbie, they want to stay back there right now. They're going to take what they can get while they have it, not push any issues, not create anything bigger, and gain on it when we can. As we see Bad for You right there on Jack as they go into 1 and 2. They are bumper to bumper, guys. Great racing at Darlington.
Yeah, so I didn't see this happen, but this 11 car, I just scrolled through the field here a little bit, and the 11 car has a considerable amount of...
Oh, bad spun around, bad spun around.
He's going really slow. Here comes some other cars catching up to him. Jackson Strong looks like he's going to go around him as well as a Bob. Bad for You needs to just hold on to his composure. Going 3 wide right now is not holding on to his composure. It looks like he spins again.
Yeah, Bad for You going backwards on the backstretch. Again, a lot of respect. Getting the car turned around, not pulling up in the front of the other people. Keeps his turn right there. Knows he's got another stage. Going to regroup and gather himself back up as Robbie Pitt pulls.
Yeah, so what happened right there, to all our viewers that don't necessarily know or play these games, what happened right there, he had a little incident. He immediately wanted to get on the throttle and get going again. Once those cars got by him, he really needed to just lift, take a lap or 2, get your composure back in line. And he didn't do that. He tried pushing the issue right off the back. He got real loose with the car below him, and it caused him and Jackson Strong in the 99 to both go down below, even though Bad for You's the only one to spin. You know, he needs to take this time to regather everything, hit his marks, and focus on catching back up that way.
Jackson Strong, another guy that I've known since E3. one heck of a guy, one heck of a driver. It wasn't any surprise to see him get picked up by Giggity period, let alone make it up here this quick. It's awesome to see him up here in the points. So
Jackson Strong's my driver. He's an underdog driver right now. At the end of the season, he's going to Shin Motorsports, but through the remainder of this season, he is an underdog motorsports driver, the one and only in the playoffs here for me tonight.
So definitely K-Taddy and Underdog, everybody out there with their full support for Jackson Strong. I did not know Jackson was going to come over to Shin Motorsports next year. Awesome to have you on board. Another guy that I know, another guy who tries to race around, and a guy I can bounce ideas and setups off of. So it's great to have you aboard. But as we see, I'm still following back here just a little bit. Robbie Vince makes a little bit of a mistake. Get back up into the wall. No harm, no foul. A little bit of that Darlington stripe, the lady in black. We all see it here. Bad for you racers starting to pull back away. Jackson right there in that 99 as I just switched over to him. He said, hey, you hit that wall again, I'm going to come up on you. He just pulls in behind that 21. I believe the 21 isn't Bob. Again, apologize if I got the numbers wrong. I'm still trying to learn all this from the cut numbers, but Jackson Strong, one of those great guys, and he says, hey, I got away with one right there. Unfortunate circumstance at Taddy. He's going to try to make the best of everything he gets since there's no caution.
Yeah, I'm looking down here on the pit lane, and it looks like we've lost one of our drivers, D. Smith, in the 08 Panini car. Looks like he's no longer racing here tonight. Maybe he'll be back for Martinsville, but I know he's been having some lagging out issues here as of late. Man, I really hope you get it back together, and hope to see you finish some races here.
Yeah, it looks like as I'm clicking through, Jackson Strong's going to take that Toyota Supra, that beautiful 99. He's going to take it down, get himself 4 freshies and a belly full of gas. Another car pulls in behind him as I'm trying to click in. Switching over to Trey. Love Trey's paint scheme. Love his 79. I'm a big fan of purple. It's probably one of my race colors. Cool paint scheme for Trey.
Even though your name's Pinky Puddin', even though it's Pinky Puddin' here, he likes that purple car.
Okay, I was waiting for something to happen right there. Thanks for always.
You set that one up for me perfectly. I appreciate that.
At least I can help you out there. Like I said, I made a mistake in the past, and names will come with you. And like I said, just for fun, baloney and everything, I'm going to switch it over just because I know RKM has a lot of fun with it also. But yeah, guys, we are starting to see green flag pit stops. This could be this is some of that strategy. Do you want to stay out? Do you want to pit with other people? Just stay with them? Everybody's going to play it a little bit differently, especially the way our top 10 in Xfinity playoff points there in Giggity.
Looks like Jake's coming to the pits maybe this time, or maybe he was letting his teammate Pendle go. Maybe those guys have just recently pitted. I can't really tell, but I know Pendle was catching Jake quick out, so I'd imagine him to have already pitted. Something I'm noticing as I've been scrolling through the field, both these tracks tonight, you were talking about it in the free race, I heard you there putting, they're both difficult. These are definitely driver tracks, not just, draft tracks. And the key to victory on a lot of these, Martinsville, Darlington, road courses, Bristol's, keeping your nose clean. The guy that usually has the cleanest car at the end of the race is also usually the guy that's going to be parked in victory circle. And as I'm scrolling through the field, it looks like
93 and Trey both spin out. I don't know if they hit the apron or if they were trying to make pit lane, but I just was watching it. Woodruff and Trey both have an unfortunate accident. They both, again, respect everybody else, get the car turned around. Don't pull up into the racing line. Make sure the line's clear, and here they go. Sorry to cut you off, Teddy. I was just watching.
Oh, no, that's perfect. That's going to play into Jake's hands as now the cautions come out after everybody's pit. Jake probably lapped the field, and now he's going to be able to pit and hold on to the lead for sure. But as I was saying, the guys that are the cleanest cars are usually the ones finishing up front. Looks like this 10 of Jake is completely spotless. The only other car I've seen have very minimum amount of damage is the 61 of Matt DW. I'm not so sure where he's running on the track, but he looks to have a pretty nice looking car. Not much damage on that at all.
In third, and that was the end of stage 2.
That was the end of stage 2. Okay, so him running in third, like I said, got 2 of the top 3 guys are the cleanest cars on the track.
It's like we have 8 left on the lead lap.
Yeah, I didn't think Jake pitted there, so everybody else that had to or didn't have the fuel mileage, that really puts them in a tight spot.
A lot of these guys, they're all in this division for a reason. Stretch that second stage, made sure they made their tires work and hold off, especially on worn tires. But, K-Taddy, you know what I like to say, but I'll give it to you here, buddy.
Back them and stack them.
Did Jake lap the whole field while everybody pitted, or is he able to hold that lead?
There's 8 guys on the lead lap still.
K-Taddy just said it. There it is,
Oh,
guys.
there's some combined in the back. There's some combined in the back.
Yep, a lot of cars getting into each other. Turn one here when you're on restarts and stages and stuff, guys, very difficult, especially if everybody fighting for those positions. Still no caution. Just see the 61 right there, I believe, getting into the wall. Jake back out front. I believe that 21. Let me click through. I think that's Spa, like I said. He's right there in second. Little man in that beautiful blue and 3 EMS and first responders paint scheme. He's sitting back there. Had a little unfortunate accident, but Little man will get right back in this. He's got talent. That's why he's here. Fat Pat's right behind him.
Quick update on the points after stage 2, as stage 1's lack of getting stage points shows to be a very strong problem here for Carson and Woodruff. They both received stage points that time, but not enough. They're still on the outside looking in. Carson with 1 extra point to the good. Woodruff has 4. The next closest is Jackson with 6 and Edco with 7, who did not get any stage points that time.
Look how tight the points are, guys. That tells you these guys race every week that they possibly can, and still to bring this close to the points. Looking at it, Jake obviously he's got 1,044 before playoffs, but 10-12, 10-9, and 10-3 guys, and 10-01 and 1,000. Look how close that is. Everybody at the
right
bottom
now,
of that still has it though, but yeah, pull us in, K-Teddy.
As it sits right now, Bad For You is in second with 10-21 in points. Card Fan is at 10-20, so there's a 20-point differential from the guy getting eliminated to the guy that's second in points.
But we still got that, that all-intimidating in Martinsville coming up, too. That could also be a factor for these guys. So we see MP Roofer back here making an uncharacteristic mistake getting into the wall, but we still have Martinsville to come up next, Teddy. So the points tonight are very valuable, but everything can drastically change in the next race.
Yeah, it's gonna be some crazy racing all the way around. I'm really excited to see. Martinsville is known; it's notorious for that front bumper and getting into each other a little bit. And when I say a little bit, there's people advancing or not advancing in the playoffs. When I say a little bit, I'm talking.
So does anybody know who our leader is?
Yeah, the leader is the 10 card Jake Drill.
Oh, okay.
And it depends on how everybody's their driving style or their wheel/controllers are set up. I know mine is set up a little bit different. I raced with a guy last night at the Roval. My brakes are a little bit different than him, and I ended up getting to him not intentionally, but because of my brake setup compared to his. So again, we're going to see how they have their settings set up, not sliders, their settings for that, because brakes at the next race are going to be a big issue. But guys, we still got a long way to go here in stage 3 for these guys, so there's still points to be gained from people.
It's actually funny you say that about Martinsville, because even outside the settings and like how your brake settings and whatever is set up, there's still the driver's style to that. You drive in hard and get everything you can on entrance while you are at full RPM, try to lock the brakes all at once and roll through the corner and get back up to speed, or you set back, get on the brakes early, give up the entrance to have that great run off so you can gain speed coming off. There's so many different things you can do at a track like Martinsville. Do you want to diamond it? Do you want to hold the bottom? Do you want to stay a half lane up? So many different techniques, and that's why, although it is a short track and cars will use each other up, it's so fun to watch because of the different techniques. It's a true driver's track, paper clip of Martinsville.
K-Teddy, I know you're a cup driver. You're cup and I'm in truck right now. Me personally, I want that drive off. I back the corners up. Now that's me being me in a truck. How do you do it, especially being in a cup driver? And we'll get to Pro and Wicked here in just a second and get their opinions. But I back the corner up to give that drive. I personally rather make that straightaway as long as possible, get as much straightaway speed as I can, just in case somebody's in front of me, so I can make a dive on them.
So it kind of depends, I'm glad you asked that, and Wicked, I don't know if you'll vouch for this, but Wicked's also one of our highly skilled cup drivers, and I personally, when I'm by myself, I'll do the same thing. I'll give up the entrance, I'll let it coast through the center, and I'll get that hard drive off to carry as much speed as I can down the center. However, that strategy is only good when I'm by myself. Once I get around some other cars, it's out the window. I can't run that strategy to make a pass, because if the guy in front of me is doing the same thing, well, my strategy won't work. Then I might have to drive in harder. He might hold the bottom all the way around, and so I have to go up to the outside. Maybe break in a lot harder to get that side by side with him, to stop him from being able to get that run up and be able to utilize the whole track. Strategies are always good at every track, but you got to change them according to who's around you. And we've all run with each other enough that we're starting to know how people run.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Wicked. And not to take away from you either. I broadcasted a lot of races, and I've said your name quite a few times. How do you like to drive tracks like that? Do you back it up, or do you want that drive?
I would have to 100% agree with Teddy there. I like to back it up. Granted, you're by yourself. If you got 3 cars and you open up that entry and let 1 car underneath, even being a short track, you're going to get freight trained. You'll get
I
stuck
was just
on
going
that
to say, you're not
outside
going to say slider, you're going to say freight train.
Yeah, you'll get stuck on that outside throughout that whole corner if he happens to get under you and take that arc that you need to get a good apex in that corner. So yeah, it's all. I mean, especially if you're in playoffs and stuff, you got people behind you. You got to protect that inside and just ride it.
It's awesome. Again, guys, up here in the booth, we got Wicked, we got Pro, we got Taddy, we got myself. We're all part of Giggity, obviously. We all drive in different ranks, so it's great to hear all of our different aspects of this. Maybe you guys won't use that against us in the future, or maybe you guys can use it against us and help us. Hopefully not, but either way, it's kind of cool to hear everybody's different driving styles, because Martinsville's definitely one of those tracks. But guess what? We're not done with Darlington, guys. We got a long way to go here.
I'm glad these are 2 tracks. Even though they're completely different, they're really a lot the same. There's really tight corners. There's no room for 2-3 cars going in here side by side, and both of them be able to have a good run. Like there's no side by side racing in either of these tracks. It's all about, like you were talking about with Martinsville, how do you get into the corner compared to how do you get off the corner. Both of these tracks are really notorious for, if you lift too early and give it too much entrance, too much release on entrance, you'll carry so much speed on exit that you'll get really, really loose. Martinsville is a little bit different than here. You can carry a lot more speed here than you can there. But both these tracks are a lot alike. So the cars that you're seeing up front right now, don't be surprised to see the same guys running up front later in the Martinsville race.
Some people call them turtles at the Roval. Money Mike was making fun of me earlier because I call them the candy cane at Martinsville, though. You don't want to hit those. You can't use the car to rotate it. It will upset your car and throw you off your line. Certain tracks you can, but other ones. Yep, I was just going to say, we see green flag pit stops being made as I'm following along with Robbie Fitz, our Australian buddy over here. He's coming down right behind somebody else. But yeah, at Martinsville, you don't want to hit that. But we'll get back to that, because guess what? We're not done with Darlington, like I just said. We've still got a lot of racing here. Let's focus on this, and then we'll bring up Martinsville in the next broadcast, guys.
Yeah, I'm really, this is crazy. This is to all our viewers out there. Let me know, who do you guys see as not only a race winner but possible champion here in the Giggity Racing League? Keep in mind, there's only one past champion in this race tonight, and that is Trey. But he is not an Xfinity champion. He is a Truck Series champion. So this series will crown a new champion this season.
Looks like Robbie Vids inadvertently going into the pits had an AI mistake. It wasn't his fault. Got into the other car. Don't know if that's going to cost him any time or any damage. But Robbie Vids, he's in our points tonight too. Got into a couple unfortunate accidents. Moved up. Jake Drew looks like he apparently is going to be coming down for a green flag pit stop. No, he's coming off. Excuse me, I'm rephrasing that. But yes, so Jake just made his green flag stop too, guys. So the leaders are making their stops, and it's awesome to see. We're not seeing that ugly yellow flag as much as we did the other night.
Actually, so it's funny you were mentioning Robbie and the AI incident. I think what happened was when he got in the pit lane, the AI there in the UK, they had to switch the driver from one side to the other. They're not used to this American driver on the left side of the car, so that little break of the driver getting swapped just messed up the AI completely.
I think he's. I just don't think he's accustomed to all that Chevy power, because they race and they drive Peugeots and Citroens over there. I know it's pronounced differently, but that's how I say it. But yeah, Peugeot. But yeah. So that's a very valid point, Taddy. It's hard to make that driver change at the same time, and when you put a big old American V8 under the hood, Robbie's very accustomed to it, but still trying to learn to it.
Yeah, I totally thought he was going to take for his team at Shin Motorsports. I definitely thought he was going to go with the foreign Toyotas, but he decided he liked this American muscle and he went into some Chevy.
Sorry to interrupt. We have our leader, Little Man, just spinning on the turn 3, I believe.
Little Man, leader's there. Looks like caution.
Yeah, yep, there it is. Unfortunate to see, but a lot of these drivers did want to see it. But again, being in the booth with you for the second time, Taddy, always awesome. Been up here with Pro and Wicked, always cool to be with these guys. But man, the other night, Taddy, we saw a very uncharacteristic amount of yellow flags. So glad to see we're not seeing as many tonight.
Real quick, while we're under this quick caution, we're now in stage 3 of this first race. We're going to bring it up again multiple times tonight.
10
Guys, hashtag do it for Trout. The guy's having a real medical emergency right now, fighting for everything he can there, losing a leg, possibly another one, broken arm, busted bladder. Guys, on the Facebook page, get on there. If you can't donate, at least share. Do it for A. Troutman. With that said, let's get back to these final 10 laps here in Darlington with Jake leading Bob, Robbie Vids, MP Roofer, and Matt BW. 3 of the top 5 are playoff drivers, 2 are not, but they are looking to show that they're here for the long run as they enter next season.
And how many laps did you say we had left going into this? 10 to go?
10 to go.
Yeah, that's what I just thought I heard him say. So guess what, guys? It's brass tacks and bronze air medal times. All holds barred. No holds barred, excuse me. Oh, you just got 4 frashies and a belly full of fuel. No excuse. You made your adjustments. Do you guys set up for a short run? Do you adjust your car for that? Or
Not to cut you off here, but somebody that we haven't seen running up front all night long, Bob in that 21, he is a multi-race winner here in the Xfinity Series. We haven't talked about it much tonight, other than his service to the military, but he's looking to get that victory over his teammate of Jake Drow, knowing that he's in the playoffs. He says, I don't care about the playoffs. I'm here to get a win before I leave.
that's awesome. And again, these guys, just because you're not in the playoffs doesn't mean that you can't come up here and win the race and steal points from these other guys. That's why they're here. You know, everybody wants to prove themselves. They're in Xfinity for a reason, but they want those bragging rights. You're right, K-Taddy.
Guys, on that restart, the number 11, No Pit Pendle, 3rd in points entering tonight's event. He's way off pace, way in the back. Looks like there was a little bit of contact, and he's about a quarter of a straightaway behind the rest of the field, looking to try and gain some ground and get caught back up. As Fat Patch looks like he's out. MP Roofer spins on the inside, collects the wall. I couldn't quite tell if he caught any other cars there or not. Oh,
That's
man,
okay.
poor Roofer. Another caution is out. Looks like another caution has come out. Half the field looked like they were in that. Woodruff, I see Matt BW, Pendle, the 9 car. I'm not so sure who's in the 9. Dang it.
I think we all know what the strategy is. I would tell you what my strategy is. I would not stay. I mean, I'm staying out, guys, especially if you're in the lead or in that lead pack. Stay out. You just got your adjustments in. You just got 4 fresh tires. You got your fuel. You know you're going to make it to the end. Unless you have severe damage, these top guys are going to stay out, especially if they're in the points championship.
In that cycle of events, we now have 10 on the lead lap.
That brings another 2 people in, because at one point in time we did have 8 laps on the lead car. So thank you, Wicked. That's a great point. 2 more cars are now in this for the win. Who's going to push the issue? Tay-Taddy, I love it when you say it. Go ahead, buddy.
Rack 'em and stack 'em, boys. We're getting ready to finish out our last 5 laps at Darlington.
There we
Bob
go.
on the outside of Jake, the underdog's non-points driver of Matt BW in 3rd. Little man has got back up to 4th with Trey now in your top 5. Habab looking strong on the outside. Looks like he's going to hold Jake Jarrell coming off of 2. Let me stand corrected. Jake makes a little contact. He gets back to the lead. Habab catches wall. Jackson gets loose off onto the inside. Matt BW now your runner-up, P2.
Okay, Taddy, I don't know if you're looking for a job, but since Dale Walter retired, I think you could take it over right there, man. You're pulling such a great job. Jake's still on right there, pulling him on. These guys are
Trey
right
to the
behind
inside
him.
wall, 3-4 wide, coming off of 4. Trey gets the worst of it. He gets loose, goes into the inside wall. Looks like there will be no caution, and he is one of our playoff drivers. Matt BW in 2nd catches Wallace. He's trying to catch Jake. Here comes Little Man into 2nd place. Can anybody catch that 10 car?
Interrupt Jake.
Oh, we got a big wreck. Habab's involved. Woodruff made one heck of a move. Evasive maneuvers, squadron leaders right
We're
there.
on the
Woodruff makes
1 to go. Looks like a caution, so we should have an overtime.
Nope, that finished the race.
Because he took the white flag. So Jake Giroux is your race winner with Bobby Lee Marshall, a.k.a. Little Man, finishing 2nd in that nice black and blue EMS car.
That's a great comeback for Little Man, especially with his paint scheme and everything out there, guys. We're going to give you a full tally of the rundown. We still got more
here's
still
our
to come.
finish.
But, yep, go ahead, Teddy.
Finish here at Darlington. Jake with the win. Little Man 2nd. Bad for you 3rd. Woodruff in 4th. Jackson 5th. Matt BW 6th. Roofer 7th. Bob 8th. Pendle. Robbie Vids rounds out your top 10. Followed by Trey, Fat Patch Cards fan, Edtho, and D. Smith. Edtho did not want to see that. As a playoff guy, he was already hurting for points. That cannot be good.
already getting messages up here. Not going to tell you who it's from and who it's to, but tempers are flaring after Darlington, guys, and we still have Martinsville to come. Do you expect to see a playback? A little bit of a payback because both those drivers are in the playoffs. If you guys just saw that message come through.
Yeah, I mean, Martinsville. To say that there won't be retaliation would be silly.
We got old Money Mike out there giving me a little correction on my wording. I apologize, Money Mike. Thanks for listening, buddy. Keep your thumb in the wind, hitchhiker. I apologize for saying that wrong. He said I had 8 laps on the lead car. Guys, we just saw a great race at Darlington. These guys were defending it, but like we've been talking about all night, not necessarily an equalizer, but it can be an equalizer track. We have Martinsville coming up. Congratulations to our top 3. Those guys definitely needed everything. Great run back from some of those guys in early controversies too. But I'm seeing some points play people up there, and I'm also seeing some of the points players being further put back here in the back. So this is going to be interesting.
Puddin', I'd like to add to this. With this going on, Jake winning our first race with some points guys getting into a wreck back there. It depends on are they going to come back and try to redeem themselves on Martinsville, or are they going to try to get as far as they can and possibly maybe try to redeem themselves, or are they going to? That is the question. Are they going to, or are they going to try? That is the question that they gotta ask themselves.
Or on top of that, you just bring into that intimidation factor. Do you think it's going to come and not come? So yeah, we'll see what happens. Go ahead, Teddy.
On that note, I don't know if you guys want to take 5. We got about 8 minutes before this next race is going to get going. So if you guys want a pee break or anything like that, I'm going to advise we end this stream and we get ready to start back up in about 8:10, guys. Looks like that's when qualifying is going to start. So let's get this one ended. We'll bring in our race winner after. There's that way we can try to get everyone together. But quick update on those that are watching this and might not be able to catch the other one. The 2 guys on the outside looking in now. Woodruff got 7 extra points to the good, so he's clear right now. The guys in danger are Cardsfan and Edtho, are 2 worst finishers in that last race.
All right, guys. You just heard it from Mr. Taddy himself. We got Pro Ripper. We got Wicked doing the broadcast for us. Thank you for everything you do, Wicked. Your broadcasts are awesome. Kate Taddy, Puddin', coming from Darlington. That's what we got for you. We're going to see what happens in Martinsville. We're going to see the next 2 get booted. Thanks for everybody out there in YouTube land. Can't wait to see you in about 8 to 10 minutes. You all have a good night. Be safe, and see you soon.